started as a rural NGO. Is we have almost 25 years old organization, and before that my journey started in permaculture. I think there's almost 35 years, as Gopalji said. But my organization called Aranya Agriculture Alternatives, we are small and as a NGO, but we are working with a lot of large community in different spaces like urban and semi-urban, even the rural, even the tribal area. I think a lot of farmers and NGOs, we started working on this restoration. But that's why that is why the water is a elixir of life. So it has a lot of capacity to healing any kind of, not only farmlands. I think the healing the humans also. I think that is why the caption, which I think I've very strong caption has given, permaculture design and healing from farmlands with water, no doubt. But we as an NGO and we as a permaculturist, how we look at the water. I think there are water is essential, everybody knows, but how you do it, very common slogans we come across every day. Save water. How to save water? That is one of the biggest question. I think saving water is not one way. I think you have to number of ways you can save the water, no doubt. Coming to the water, always most of the time in the urban, what they think about how to treat the sewage water. I think when you come to the urban suburban areas and most of the village rural area, how to harvest the water. If you go to the areas like where wetlands or marshy areas, how to manage the water. I think these are very, very confusing. Most of the time we are struggling ourselves how to treat the soil, how to treat the water. I think water and soil, we cannot inseparable. I think always when the water is there, soil is also there. Soil without water, no soil, no water. I think how we can deal with this soil and water. That's why always we talk about the SMC, soil and moisture conservation, rather than just water harvesting. I think in this light of this discussion, what I wanted to put forth is the water, the treatment. I think that to some extent treatment is the last. As my understanding, water treatment is the last option for me, the last resort. But before that, water saving, water holding, and water, how to use that water, and what are the methods of water uses in the different context. I think just coming to my background, I think the permaculture, I think many of you might have heard it. Permaculture, in my words, I will put it in a very simple way. Permaculture is a response and as an alternative way of life based on a cooperative, non-exploitative relationship with the biosphere and as a part of it. I think that's my definition of permaculture. There is a contraction of two words, but coming to the picture, I think there are a lot of things are there, not only just what talking about water. I think the water relationship, what is the symbiotic relationship of the water, that we wanted to focus on most of the work, what we have been doing since last almost all 3 decades plus. But it is very important where we have a small piece of land. This is not my cup of tea, but my cup of tea is the most of the farmers' lands where I'm working with the small and marginal farmers, how much water I could save along with the soil.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Padma. And then this is like a permaculture farm, how we design with the water. Water is a so precious resource. Is in the small farmers and the marginal farmers in the dry land areas like arid zones, semi-arid zones, irrigated areas and the tribal areas where high rainfall is there, where semi-arid zones are. Different strategies has been designed in different landscapes. So how I feel like catch and store energy is one of the principle permaculture can be applied. How we can catch the energy, how we can store it in the different landscapes. So maybe in the so water is storing for what? Ultimately, it is for some energy transformation, external energy transforming into the food. Like maybe the primary source is the trees. From trees to different life forms, the energy is getting transformed. I feel like storing of water, conservation of the water is leading to ultimately food for all life forms.
Aranya Agriculture Alternatives and NGO, just we are looking for the number of ways to how to work with these farms where there is no minimum basic infrastructure, basic resources with the farmers. I think this is one of the NGO we are looking for established in 1999. I think there are some of the very, very important aspects we are working on: climate resilience, production systems in agriculture and livestock, and some capacity building also happening. And biochar, recently we started a biochar making is a big, large scale, which the cotton stock left over in the most of the thousands of hectares of land, just they are burning the stock of it. Just we started making a lot of biochar with that. I think the restoring water bodies, we have one of the biggest project we are working with the government as well in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. I think this is where exactly most of the tanks have been totally got dried and most of the encroached. Those has revived and most of them are now they're working. I think we hand over to the communities. There's one of the biggest achievement in our entire water bodies, revival of water bodies. What is permaculture? The definition it is there, but I think there's no perfect definition for permaculture. I think this is one of the small definition where mentioned it here. The crop which is showing on the slide is totally in the farmer land where we are working and using those, what are the rain-fed crops they do. I think those areas are very, very important to how much water you stored and caught, you put it in the form of moisture form. I think here we applied a lot of the four water concept. I think soil moisture, the maintenance of soil moisture in the soil. I think at a high level. I think this is some of the slides which we are showing the crop diversity as well. And for agriculture, we are doing it. How much production is not important. How much water we able to store in the soils. I think that is as a result of that, we are able to see some of the crops which are growing very healthy. I think that kind of moisture retention is very, very important. The dry lands, that's the only source of water for those lands.